Hi, and welcome to Simply Channeling. Sarah and I set our prayers and intentions prior to starting this filming. And now, here's Sarah.
Ask your questions.
Is this Thane I'm talking to?
Names don't matter.
Yeah, the words no. Sara recently told me that I do not need to ask any questions. She said you have things to say. What are your comments to that? By the way, you can't open Sarah's eyes. It doesn't freak her out.
I know. It's all right. So, comments on
My statement.
your statement. Eventually, no questions will need to be asked at all. But right now, if you have a question,
I have 40 questions.
no.
What do you mean no?
Way too many.
I know, but what I don't get to ask this time, we will ask it next time. We'll keep this to about an hour.
So, what is your first? Well, I should say your
The
second question.
Sara wants to know who or what you really are.
What I really am.
What's that?
What Thane really is. What I really am.
Whoever is speaking at this time.
An uncorporeal being. But then again, you knew that.
Yeah.
Other than that, you don't need to.
How about Thane then? Since he visits the most.
He does, because it's easy. For him and for her.
So was this easy for both of you this time?
Not as easy.
Okay. That tells us you have a higher energy / frequency than Thane.
I should hope so.
Should I just ask questions about enlightenment?
If you wish.
Or can I also ask questions about, I know there's no time, but I need to use time because I'm still used to thinking of time. Can I ask questions of previous events that occurred on Earth?
Why would you care? They're over and done with.
I know, exactly. I just like to know why things happened.
That may be a complex and convoluted answer. But
I have a lot of questions. That's why I have so many questions. We believe an asteroid struck the Earth and is responsible for the death of the dinosaurs. Is that correct?
many asteroids have hit the Earth, responsible for many deaths. You wish to know about the dinosaurs?
Yep. The one that killed the dinosaurs.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
correct for what it is.
And I know you actually asked the rest of that question, so I don't have to ask it. I have heard that a large asteroid strike or comets struck the ocean, caused a great flood, and sank Atlantis. Is that true?
One of the times that was it.
So I take it's been multiple times that Atlantis has sunk?
Oh, yeah. Or been swamped by tsunamis or flooded for whatever the reasons.
Okay. This next one is kind of weird, but I ask weird questions. There's a theory that all continents on this planet at one time was one supercontinent named Pangaea. Other than the name, can you shed any light on that event?
Well, it was one continent at one time. People just decided to call it. You humans decided to call it Pangaea. So what more light can I shed?
Do you like cats?
I like all animals,
Okay.
including humans.
Haysha just came in. He'll probably come over for a visit. What I'm referring to is... Oh, you already answered it. Never mind. About what time in the Earth's lifespan or in the past did Pangaea separate? I see a smile. What's a smile for?
Time.
Yes.
Everything is now.
I understand that.
So it happened now, it happened later, it happened tomorrow. Because it all happened now. You're looking for, billions of years ago.
Something like that.
Many millions of years ago.
Oh, okay.
In your reckoning. Mm-hmm.
Were dinosaurs living at that time?
Ancestors of dinosaurs.
Okay. So dinosaurs actually evolved or grew after Pangaea split apart.
When it began splitting apart, they were in the midst of their evolution.
Okay. Were there any bipeds alive at that time? Including apes or any ancestors of mankind or anything like that?
That's what you're looking for. No.
Okay. This question is, I'll ask it for you, and then if you can answer it for Thane, if you can. I'm sure you can. Before any of these sessions started, have we met each other? The reason I ask, you seem very familiar to me as I get to know you.
That's why you seem familiar to each other. As you get to know each other, you become more familiar. Oh, you are looking for perhaps a past life.
An alternate.
Or an alternate reality,
yeah.
Or different dimension, and does it really matter?
No.
Because we're all connected anyway.
I know. I'm just curious.
So Thane's vibrations may be familiar to you because of that connection.
Okay. Does the true self ever incarnate on a 3D world? Or are the inhabitants of a 3D world always a splinter of the true self?
A splinter of the true self is still the true self, and wherever the true self decides to incarnate, the true self is there.
So in other words, how else can we rephrase this? I don't like to use the word, the essence that creates the splinters. Does that essence ever inhabit a 3D world?
If I understand you correctly, the essence of all souls and splinters and whatnot is the source. All that is. Hi, kitty.
Name's Haysha.
I know.
Okay. I'll have to think on that one. Where are you, Haisha? He's behind me. Can you give us some hints as to why I like to collect information? Hence all these questions.
You have difficulty accepting a more fluid existence. For you, things need to be concrete, but they're not. Even concrete is fluid.
In a previous session, Thane talked a little bit about hybrids. Do hybrids also have splinters in them? If so, are those mentors from our reality or the other's reality? I think I know the answer. I just want confirmation.
Perhaps you personally need to quit thinking of splinters as separate. They're not separate from the source, from the higher self, from the soul.
So it's like a finger on a hand. It's part of me.
More close, more like a mitten on a hand. The mitten. It's still all one.
Does Haisha sense there's someone different here?
Yes.
Seems very subdued compared to whenever Thane's here. Oh, he's headbutting you. He wants his petties.
Yes, he has to have this rubs and the scratches, and
Yep.
he's purring.
Does the ego know of our agreement to come to this planet? And if so, will it override or enforce needed changes to direct us to fulfill our agreements?
The ego wants to be in charge. However, the true self is in charge of the learning and the growing.
I'm going to move you slightly because you're not facing the camera.
Oh. Okay,
There you
ow, he
What?
has claws. Did that answer?
Yes.
Okay. I could go on a little more,
Sure. Go ahead.
because the ego is more like the construct of the mind, which is why it needs to be set aside when you search for the true self, which is another way of saying enlightenment. But enlightenment is a journey, as you well know. The true self is on that journey. And for those who are just beginning the enlightenment journey, shall we say, the true self is not consciously known. Those beings who are just beginning, and even some who are well down the path, need to open themselves more and more to the true self. And then it's easier to eliminate belief systems that are incorrect or not quite what you want. The true self is sometimes well, quite often, difficult to be aware of, to be cognizant of an individual's true self. What else can I say about that? It takes much, as you say, soul searching to open the mind and heart to the source, which allows the journey to continue. The journey of enlightenment I'm referring to. Sorry, Kitty, I got your ear. Oh, it's difficult to put this simply. But as an individual, becomes more aware of the true self and what his or her true self really is. An extension of the source of all that is, God, whatever term you want to use. And by allowing the conscious awareness to appreciate the worthiness, the inherent goodness, the intelligence, the essence of the true self, then they can become more excited. An individual will be more excited about doing more exploration because an individual's entire existence expands. I'm not saying it very well. I'm trying to say too much with too few words. But we can move right along.
Why does the person's or the entity's world or reality or whatever is expand? You were just talking about it.
Oh, the expansion is because the more what does the word enlightened mean to you? You.
I'm thinking
Or you who watches this.
To me, it means knowing better and acting so.
Mm-hmm.
Being more in tune with yourself and with others. But
that is one of the steps along the journey.
okay.
But as you take these steps, the more you recognize your own value to all that is, the more open you become in your heart to the value of others, no matter how they behave, how they act. You, as you take these steps along the path of enlightenment, become more aware and expand your heart to take in others, everyone, from the rocks to your neighbors, your family, friends, and everything in between, animals, plants, water, air, since you need air to breathe on this planet. You naturally become more in awe of, appreciative of, and desirous of more and more connection, and you expand outward. The spirit of you, the soul of you, expands and expands and becomes even more joyous. And when you do, others around you will as well. And the more of you who do that, ultimately, humanity itself will rise. But I get ahead of myself, so